Hello everybody, my name is, sorry about that, Sniping is Fun. I welcome you back to the official 8th character in this list of videos, this series of videos on the Super Smash Bros. 5 Newcomer Ideas. We've talked about various characters from Dixie Kong to Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade, and today we travel back to the world of third parties with Crash Bandicoot. Such a legendary character for the gaming industry, even only being released in the late 90s, has had various games released since then, and I think this game, this Smash Bros. Game, the 5th one, is going to be the first game I think he's super eligible to actually be a possible newcomer, new third party to add to the game. He might have had a chance here or there before, somewhat, maybe, possibly, and maybe Brawl if they decided to add him alongside Snake and Sonic. But I think now is the best time, more so than ever in the past, that Crash Bandicoot is going to be a possible newcomer idea for this game. Okay, so just like always, I'm going to be talking about 3 different categories. Why does the character make sense for Super Smash Bros., what are moveset ideas, and the percentage chance I could see them getting in. Why does Crash make sense to be in Smash Bros. At all? There's 2 reasons, and only 2 reasons, and one of which is the reason why I feel they make sense. He makes sense now more than ever. One, he is probably one of Nintendo's biggest rivals outside of basically Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog obviously is the bigger rival they've had in the early 90s during the Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis console war. So it's pretty freaking obvious Crash is not on Sonic's level. Sonic does trump him in terms of, a major rivalry. But when the PlayStation came around in the mid to late 90s, and Crash Bandicoot was like their main mascot during the days of the Saturn versus the N64 versus the PlayStation 1, Sega kind of fell out of it, especially Sonic, and Crash took his place as, Mario's biggest rival, as PlayStation's mascot for their biggest rivalry with Nintendo. So he is probably the second biggest rival Nintendo ever fought in terms of mascots after Sonic. So he does have history being a rival for Nintendo, for Mario, just like Sonic did. And Sonic now finally is a third party and made it onto, Smash Bros. With Brawl. My second reason is we're getting the Insane Trilogy on the Switch. The original 3 games, the games that basically made him the rival of Mario, those games, the remake that they made on the PS4, is coming to the Nintendo Switch sometime within the next couple months. It is coming out in 2018, and it's going to be probably one of the biggest third-party releases that the Switch sees, because the games were never on Nintendo to begin with. They were PlayStation exclusives back in the day, and after that was when the series became third-party multiplayer, but those original 3 games never left Sony. Now they're coming to Nintendo, and they're heavily pushing him, so I do think Crash Bandicoot now more than ever, because those original trilogy, the HD remakes, the Insane Trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch, he has more of a chance now than ever to be in Smash Bros., to be one of the third-party characters they choose. So those are the 2 reasons. He is a big rival of Mario and of Nintendo, PlayStation versus Nintendo, that major console war from the mid to late 90s after the Sega Genesis for Super Nintendo. And because the Insane Trilogy is coming to the Switch, and it's one of the heavily pushed third-party games on it, so I'm thinking it's possible at this point, more so than ever. Moveset ideas. Smash attacks, I think, would be basically his simple attacks. Basically, would be his Death Tornado, his spins, and basically his super slide. So he'll slide across the stage, tripping opponents. He'll spin. Basically, Mario does a spin attack in one of those games too, doesn't he? He does like a spin kind of thing. Not a spin, but he does do a spin cape type attack. So it's going to be kind of like that, except more of a tornado spin. And when he spins, obviously in the Crash Bandicoot games, that hurt the opponents, hurts the enemy, so he hurt your opponent in Smash Bros. 2. So basically his smash attacks would basically be, maybe you would have to throw in a couple punches and kicks, which Crash Bandicoot has done before. He's done stuff with kicks and done stuff with punches. It's not his main bulk of his moveset, but it is there. So you have to kind of include that just a little bit, so it just kind of he has some little extra smash attacks. But I would focus his actual smash attacks mostly being on his super slide and the death tornado. So he spins into opponents and hits them, or slides under opponents and trips them. So that would be his smash attacks. His special attacks, I would say, focus on all his little gadgets he has in the game. All his little, like his propellers, his jetpacks, the motorcycle. You get on a motorcycle and ride across it. Make it like Wario, where you ride across and you can hit and you can get off and then throw your motorcycle and stuff like that. He gets off the motorcycle, maybe he can hit opponents with it or something, and he can run them over with the motorcycle. The fruit bazooka would be kind of cool. Like he pulls it out and he shoots, so he have a ranged attacks shooting like fruit, like the I forgot the heck the fruit's called in the game now. But shooting the fruit with his bazooka at the opponent, so that'd be his ranged attacks. When he's up close, he's doing the death tornado and the super slide, which would be kind of a mid-range attack too if you wanted to, so you could slide across any opponents. But long range, you do the fruit bazooka, you could run people over motorcycles, and all his other little gadgets. He's done a lot in them. And if you really wanted, you could probably pull some stuff from later games too. But I'm thinking they probably would focus a lot of his moveset on the original trilogy if he does get in, because that's coming to the Switch. But maybe a few other little things like he did like in Mind Over Mutants and stuff on like the Wii and the GameCube and whatnot too. But I'd say focus mostly on the classic moveset here. And I said that with Paper Mario, do like a amalgamation, like all the games, but I think Crash would focus more so on the classic games, with maybe a little bit touches here and there from the newer ones. But the Insane Trilogy coming to the Switch, I think they'd focus on the older ones. So yeah, the Smash attacks, his Death Tornado, and the Super Slide, and the Fruit Bazooka, motorcycle, and their little gadgets and jetpacks and stuff that he's had in the series would be his special attacks. And the obvious final Smash he probably would have, since it's in all three games, is the Aku Aku mask. He puts the mask on, and like Super Sonic, except with Super Sonic's case, he flies around the stage. Crash Bandicoot can't do that, so he runs around the stage like, and he's like, and he runs into opponents. He's like, boom, 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 like how Super Sonic flies into people and hurts them. He just runs into them, and then they can get damaged. So it's like a temporary thing where he runs around with the Aku Aku mask on, and hits them in some sort of, invincible state that he has for like a minute or so. And he just hurt people and it does damage. So that has to be his thing, because Aku Aku is such a main important character of the series, and he does that like in all three games. I would focus that on as being his final Smash. So there's his moveset. And as for the percentage chance I could see him getting in, I'm going to roughly estimate Crash Bandicoot at an 80%. He has a very high chance, but there are certainly third-party characters that feel like they make more sense than him and feel like they should be in above him and before him. Not saying he shouldn't be in alongside them as well, or he doesn't deserve it, but he does have a chance more so now than ever. His percentage chance would have been a whole heck of a lot less in Brawl and Smash 4. But now I think 80%, I think is a decent chance. It's that fine line between he makes sense to get in, but he's not 100% guaranteed. And there are third parties, like I'm going to say Bomberman and whatnot, and even Rayman, that I feel make a little bit more sense than him to get in. But I do think since the Insane Trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch, he has more of a chance now than ever to get in, and he might be one of the third parties they add to this game. And I, quite frankly, because I'm he's so iconic, and I'm a big nostalgic fan of the series. I grew up on the original games on the PlayStation, just like I grew up with Mario and whatnot, and Zelda and whatnot. Crash Bandicoot was one of the original franchises I grew up with. So just like Bomberman and Mario and Zelda and whatnot, Crash Bandicoot is iconic and he's nostalgic to me. And I would love to see him in Smash Brothers. So there's that too. But I'm giving him an 80%. So those are my categories. Put in the comment section what you guys think. What do you think about the moveset ideas I kind of gave him? What do you think about the reasons I gave he should be in? What reasons do you think he should be in? Do you think he even should be in Smash Brothers? What percentage chance would you give him to be in? So on and so forth. Until next time, when on the 9th official character, we're going to be going into the realm of Pokemon. Until then, my name is Sniping Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day, and ooga booga!